SoFi and stock market investors, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jason. In today's video, I want to discuss some technical analysis about SoFi stock and a key indicator that could send SoFi towards higher profits in the near term. Listen, the earnings were pretty good, in my opinion, minus the tech platform, which is pretty crappy. There's no other way around it. But I think there's some technical analysis that we could look at for long-term trends for SoFi stock that could benefit us forward. And I want to give you guys some key numbers, some key prices to kind of look out for over the next coming months. And if we stay above them and get over some of the other ones, I think SoFi stock could have a really good summer moving forward. Now, let's get into the video. All right, stock market investors, here we go. But before we get into the video, check out why you should subscribe to the channel. Here we go. My IRA is right here. We just started it a couple years back and we're already up 170% over the last 2 years. Absolutely crushing it. This is my big dog account, six-figure account. We're also up 139% in this account. And this is where I own the majority of my SoFi stock. I have around 6,500 shares in this account. I do have some in my IRA, but mostly my IRA I keep as a dividend-only portfolio. But here in this account, you can see all the stocks that I currently own. 6,435 shares in this account right here. Now, let's move over to the technical analysis side of this thing. SoFi stock. All right, we can see two clear trends here. We got an uptick here. We got the downside there, right? And how can we read this chart? So we want to make higher highs and higher lows. This is kind of how we could see where the trend begins. Okay, so we have a low around here around 1245, and then we see a big move to the upside here. We see a little downtrend here, but it stops here. So we got higher highs and higher lows. Higher lows are the important. Then we kick up to another uptrend here, and we stop it right there. And then we kind of trade flat for a little while, but we continue this uptrend for a little while. And then we start to see the breakdown here. This is where the breakdown begins. This is the first downward move. And then we shot back up to here. And here we go. This is this low here. We have another low here. And then bang. This is where it breaks right there. Okay, so now we have this monster downtrend. We're constantly seeing lower lows. Anytime we even break out, there's no chance. It's just like a slaughter all the way up and all the way down. So here's the last couple months of SoFi stock. We had a low in here around that $15.20 range. I think that's a big indicator. So we'll, for like even numbers sake, so say around 15 bucks. You have 14.90-ish, somewhere in that range. That's where we want to stay above to maybe see where this trend can continue moving forward, right? So here we are, 14.90. We broke down again in this range right here. And then we want to see if we trend down, and we want to see it plateau there and then shoot back up, and then we can kind of work our way back up over the next couple of months. So for me, I want to see new highs in this breakout. So the new breakout, we got to get over that, like 1964, kind of looks like we're in that area right here. So if this can bounce and we could cross 1964, get into the $20 range, somewhere around there, this would indicate an upward trajectory for SoFi stock. But if we break down past that 1490 range, we could see the stock break down even farther and come down this way towards $11, $10. So this is kind of where we're at right now when we're looking at the technical analysis side of SoFi stock. So for me, some of the big numbers that I want to see over the next several days and months, or we got to break over this 1970-ish range here to continue the upward trend. Is this definitely going to happen? We don't know. But we did sell off considerably, right? We could see that in May. we broke down considerably. But we were able to stabilize. The stock came down, didn't cross down under this like 1490 range. That was a huge deal for SoFi stock. So this seems like a great barrier for the stock. So if we cross below 15 bucks and it doesn't immediately bounce right back up, we could see some downside for the stock moving forward down in that $13 range. But for me, I don't know if we're going to get back down to these levels that we were at a while back, in that $10 range. So we got down in the nines, but then it bounced back up. Then we started seeing this, we saw this little downtrend, and we saw the spike up, and we start to see higher highs and higher lows. So that's going to indicate that we're going to be pricing in an upward move from a technical analysis standpoint, right? So when I was looking a few days ago, we were above the 50-day moving average, but not above the 200-day moving average. So obviously the stock went on quite the run. And then in November, we've seen that huge breakdown. We blew through every little bit of support that we had here. So for me, I want to see SoFi stock continue to trend upward. I want to see us hold over $16 this week. Hopefully, we're at $16.10 right now. So we're up a little bit earlier in the day, and then we broke down, and then around 16 bucks we bounced back up to 16.30. We've been trending down a little bit throughout the rest of the afternoon. We got like an hour and 10 minutes left trading. I got tons of covered calls this week for SoFi stock. Real quick, guys, I'll show you what I'm doing with all my SoFi options right now. I got a ton of options. I'm a huge options guy. I would not suggest you guys doing this many options unless you're a seasoned professional, but I sell tons of options. Okay, so I got one call for $16.50 this week, 6 for $17, 12 for $17.50. All of these are currently out of the money right now. So you can see I stagger throughout months and weeks and years of my different covered calls. And as you can see, I'm up huge on the majority of these covered calls here. And then I got some bigger covered calls. I got 20 covered calls for the 1st of January in 2027. I got 20 calls. We're up 56%. So what I usually do is I like to get them to like 75%. If we look at the gain and loss from all these options here, we can see all the gains I have with all my options. There's a shitload of them. And then if we're ever above 70% and it's several months out, I do start buying back some time. Like I have some five $30 calls for 2027 in December. So once this gets about 80 to 85%, because it's out so far, and then what I'll do is I'll buy it back and roll it not forward but backward. So what I'll do is I'll go here and I'll go to roll this position. And a lot of people like to kick the rolls out farther, but I like to shorten them when I'm up big on my options, right? So then if I go like 6 months from where it currently is, I could break it down to about 27, 25. Yeah, I have to go about $22 for June of 2027. And I don't like that because I think the stock could run this summer and later in the fall once the election is over. So I don't love that right now. So I really want to see these numbers under $200, because when you're under 200, you could be playing in that $25 to $27 range if I want to roll them forward. So we'll see how that goes. But as of right now, guys, I'm not changing any of my options. I'm letting the time decay make us profitable, right? So here we are, SoFi 6,435 shares. I am building out my Nike position right now, as well as Stone, Adobe, uranium play, some hymns I'm starting to buy. I do own 625 shares of Palantir. We're getting beat up on those a little bit today. I'm also starting to build out Zscaler. I did sell a lot of my actual shares over the last 6 to 8 months. That's how we collected all of those gains. And we take a look at my realized gains so far this year, we are up $55,864, and we're not even 6 months into the year. I'm trying to get $100,000 in gains this year for this big dog account. All right, guys, if you like these type of videos, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, and I will continue to update you guys on all my gains, my losses for the remainder of the year. So for the first 5 months of the year, we're up around 55,000. Total gains 124. Total losses are 68,000, but a lot of those losses are rolled out options that I'm kicking down the road a little bit, and you do take an immediate loss. It's a really good tax advantage if you have a big number. So what I'll do is I'll go to my losing options and I'll kick them down the road with my covered calls. So last year I was able to make a ton of money in the market. We saw the gains over the last 2 years over $140,000. But if we look at the previous calendar year, I was able to roll a lot of those options out and take some losses in this particular year, and I had a net loss of $185 last year. So if you play the tax game, and remember, when you're buying and selling options and you lose shares and you have to sell some shares with the covered calls, if you wait 31 days and rebuy them around the same price, it's a tax advantage too, and you won't have those wash sales to deal with. But again, we're looking pretty solid in this overall account over the last couple of years, guys, coming in up 138% over $100,000 over the past 2 years. And that's with SoFi getting absolutely crushed, because that makes up about 23%, 24% of my overall portfolio right now, which I'm very heavily concentrated in SoFi. So SoFi bounces back, these numbers are going to climb even higher. That's why I'm selling some covered calls really close to the money, because I'll make some money in the short term, and if it runs up in the short term, I could roll the options out and continue to get gains on those shares. All right, guys, thanks again. Peace.